Welcome to Unstoppable Podcast with Harry Sardinas, inspiring conversations with influential millionaires, investors, thought leaders, entrepreneurs who are making a massive difference with their innovative products and services, and sharing the challenges and the wisdom of how they sold their first million.
Hi, welcome everyone to our podcast. How amazing to share amazing stories how successful entrepreneurs make the first million. And today we have a special guest. Her name is Angela Jones, and she's joining us from Canada. And the first question that I would like to ask you, Angela, is why you please introduce yourself and tell us a little bit more about what you do.
Yeah, well, thanks for having me, Harry. Yeah, so I'm Angela Jones from Canada, and I'm a global entrepreneur doing interior design, decorating, and mastermind coaching. And my primary business is decorating cottages and luxury homes and vacation homes for wealthy clients. So I travel all across the world to put the finishing touches and also purchase everything to get their luxurious homes together. And it's brought me a lot of places with a lot of celebrities and some very interesting people along the way.
Wow, fantastic. And this is what we're gonna start direct to dig in, right? We know that you're very successful, that you're traveling around the world, and you have a very beautiful and amazing business. But we want to know how everything started. What was your drive? Were you passionate about interior design at the beginning of your career, or how you end up ending in this path?
Yeah, so my career started not as an interior design at all. Our family purchased a cottage resort where we transformed a 5-cottage resort to 20 cottages where we were building, developing. And then from that, then my parents ended up selling, and then I had to start over. I was like, that was my job. What am I going to do? But in the meantime, from my previous career, what I had done is gone back to school while I was learning all about building and renovating. And I got my degree for what my career is now. And from that, I had a fork in the road, and I had to decide, what am I going to do? And I just said, you know what? I've always worked for somebody else, and now I'm going to work for myself. And that's when I started my company. And I remember walking downtown, and I came across this empty building, and I went, I know the owner. And I called him up and I said, listen, give me a chance, give me 6 months to prove myself, and I'm going to rent this place, and I'm going to open up my design shop. And I just took the leap, and I did it, and I never looked back. The first day I opened, I ended up getting my first $20,000 client. And at first, I had no idea what I was going to do. I didn't know how I was going to get clients. I just knew my passion was I was going to do this. And there was no looking back. And that was my first step.
So what was your biggest fear? Let's say when you spoke with that landlord and you said, I want to start this business, and I just need, because sometimes all what we need is a chance, someone to trust in us and to give us the first step when we're talking about entrepreneurship, right? So what was the biggest fear, and what was exactly what you asked to that person? What you told him? You said, can you please give me a month for free? And if it works, I pay you back. If it's not, I pay you. So what was this type of arrangement that you create that actually led you to have your first opportunity?
So I said to him, listen, if you let me renovate it, get it, I'll upgrade it. I didn't have a lot of money. I had $5,000 to get my business started. And I said to him, give me 6 months. And then at 6 months, I'll start paying you rent. But he let me, invest in the property and do that myself. And at that point, I knew I was going to stay. And then we made an arrangement, and I signed a lease with them to keep going. So that was a big fear. It was like, wow, what if I can't do this? I don't want to have a commitment longer than 6 months. What if it's not going to happen? But then, it was one of those things. I never looked back, like I said, and just energetically things just started happening and it all lined up. So yeah, definitely there are fears when you're starting a business, but you just have to believe in yourself and know that that's what you want to do, and just keep your eye focused forward.
But I think that, knowledge and confidence is certain. I have a similar story. We were doing property maintenance here in London, right? Where we were renting these properties and then doing them up and renting them again. And I remember when I was to write my first book, right? When I spoke with the publisher, that actually is from Canada, right? With the publisher of my first book, he said 60,000. I said, "Oh my God, it's a lot of money, 60K for a book." And I just says, "Yes, I'm gonna do it, right? I will find the money and I will do my book, right?" And then this next week, this pub appeared here in London, close to Brick Lane, and it was exactly the same similar situation, right? I result that the pub got fired, right? It was fired, and apparently it was very damaging, and people were thinking that to fix this up, like the pub plus the rooms on the top, you had like 9 rooms, it was like a mini castle, that thing, yeah. The people were thinking that they need to spend 150,000 to fix this pub up. So nobody wanted to touch it in all East London. Nobody wanted to touch this pub, yeah. And then when the worst thing, then they called me, "Harry, nobody wanted. Do you want?" Because this is what I could get when I was starting my business. Only what nobody wants. And then I go there and I see the pub. And actually, yeah, it got fired, but it was not that damaged. The fire brigade arrived on time. I mean, the walls, they were dark and things like that. But I'm looking at the structure, I'm looking at the building, and I'm thinking, I don't think that people they're very scared how it looks, but it actually is not bad. And I did exactly the same deal with the landlord. I told him, "Look, you give me 6 months for free, yeah? I'm gonna fix it. I'm gonna invest my money. I'm gonna put it to work, and in 6 months, then I pay you rent. That will work for you." And he said yes, because they thought that will never put. And the long story short, only took us 2 months.
Oh wow, yeah.
Yeah, poof. In 2 months, in 2 months it was amazing. It was all painted, all the licenses, all the paperwork done. Really, to operate here in London, it calls HMO, House of Multiple Occupation. You need that license to operate all these type of things. And yeah, and I run this pub for 2 years, gave me 60,000 profit, which is exactly the same money that I need from the book.
Wow.
And after 2 years, they sold it. And however, so for everyone that is listening, right, the whole point of the first story that Angela is sharing with us is that when you're looking to start your business, right, I think Angela is sometimes it's not about the money, it's about the terms. And if people are creative enough, you can structure a same type of deal that put you in very comfortable position for you to start a business. Because otherwise, the normal standard here in United Kingdom, I guess in Canada, is very difficult. You have to give deposit, you have to give rent, you have to do X, Y, and Z. A lot of, the landlord will check your accounts even before give you a commercial property for you to operate, right?
So if you can create those opportunities, you just got to think differently, and and obviously I was confident enough to tell him, like, you know what, I'm going to do this. And you build that relationship with somebody and say, look, give me that chance. And that's sometimes what it is, having a little chance and taking a chance yourself and taking a risk. But knowing that you're very passionate about what you're doing definitely will help the energy around it come, and everything will start lining up. That's definitely what I found. And there was a lot of times, I didn't know what I was doing, and opportunities would come up and I would just say yes. And before I had the actual appointment with somebody, I would research and I would learn. So there was a lot of times I was very unsure, but again, it's just like you said, knowledge is power. I just figured it out, called people, researched it, looked it up online and how I was going to do something. And then before I got there to an appointment, I was like, okay, I got this. So.
Yeah, I want you to share with us, Angela, a little about this part about confidence. Yeah, how to have confidence, right? To have this drive that I'm gonna do this. Do you think that part of that confidence is because you did have previous experience and you did have previous knowledge and you knew that you can pull this off, you knew that you could refurbish this property, and you already has some idea, some knowledge, or you did some research, or what happened there? Because sometimes you have the first part, you say, okay, I have the knowledge and the confidence, then I can fix up the place and I can get it up and running, but am I gonna find clients? How you found your first client?
Yeah, exactly. Well,
how this happened?
Yeah, so there's a lot of factors in that, right? So having the confidence, one, was I also started taking personal development courses as well. And I learned how to talk to clients. I learned how to do sales. So I educated myself, which then also helped me have the confidence when I spoke to clients. And then I became learning once you learn the relationship between people and sales and you understand people, that you're not selling, you're actually providing a service and you're fulfilling that need. It became not, oh, here, I have to make a sale. It became, how can I help you? And then that's what I built my business on, is how can I help them achieve the most beautiful place? I listened to what everybody wanted. And then I really just went, okay, let me take all that knowledge. And then I put together a package for them to pull their project together. So then they felt more confident in me that I was listening. So that was one factor. And then having that confidence in yourself by knowing that, well, I knew I could do the construction. So having experience in what I was doing, definitely. And I had been hands-on, knowing, how to build something, what can go wrong. And sometimes you have a lot of mistakes that you've learned from over the years, which then you never want to do that again to somebody else. So that gives you experience as well. So there's, everything's not always rosy, but you can learn from those experiences to then correct yourself so that then you can avoid other people from making those mistakes. So that gave me a lot of confidence as well. So
yeah, I think that, when we start the career as an entrepreneur, right? So we are thinking, okay, I have a product and sell it, we make a profit, and you're in business, right? And for me, it was also like you become an entrepreneur like by type of accident, right? You do something, you sell it, you make some money, you have some profit, and wow, I have a business. But the more we advance in this process, we realize that we need to know a lot of things that we don't know. We need to know about accounting, about marketing, about sales, about HR, about hiring the people, and a lot of things comes to.
Yeah, you're right, Harry. A lot.
Yeah.
Entrepreneurship is not just one thing that you go, oh, I like to sell this, or I am good at that. Like, I think every career I ever had in my life, like whether it was my first job in high school, right up until, the experience of working at the resort, I was in human resources. I had worked in sales. I was a travel agent. I had learned so many different skills that what I did is I took a little bit of each skill into the business that I had, which helped me run it. So, if people don't know, like, oh, I couldn't do a business on my own, but wait a second, how did you get here today? You've learned so many different jobs. Pick those skills that you can do well. And one of the other things is hire somebody, like say accounting. I could do accounting. I could figure it out, but my skill set was design and working with people. If I'm in the back doing accounting, I wasn't out making the sales. So then I had to make that decision, hire a bookkeeper. She can be the one that does all that. And then hire an accountant, because their skill set was way better used where I could use mine, where I could create the income. So having the confidence and having that ability to pull from people that you can count on to help you run a business is also very helpful too.
Yeah, I think that this is a very important point, and it's a point that actually, in my personal experience, I struggled a lot until I had to say, you know what, I had to let it go, right? Because I was thinking I was running the whole business by myself with a couple of people, but when I decided to employ people, right, I was in this mindset that, like for example, we were managing properties, and I'm thinking, how come I gonna give a stranger the keys of the properties that I manage? What happens if something get lost, right? And as I always say, no way, right? And I spent like a couple of years like that, but the truth is I was exhausted.
Yeah.
I couldn't cope. I have more volume than actually what I can sell. So I have vacancies all the time, you know.
Yeah.
I have a job there. I was doing the job parallel with the business. So even I quit my job, and I still have bigger volume than what I could fulfill by myself, right? And it took me time to let that go and to start to bring the new employees. And things were not perfect, because I won't tell you that it was perfect at the beginning, because I didn't know what I was hiding, how much I'm gonna pay, how will be the
Yeah.
performance that they're gonna do, how they're gonna sell, different with me. But again, I think that the most important, one of the most important elements in business is to have the right people. Yeah, with the good people. And for me in particular, it has taken me a lot of time to find the
Yeah.
good people for our business. And some of them, they're working with us for 9 years, 6 years. Some of them didn't have children when they started to work with us, and now they have 3 children. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but navigate this situation when you have to learn and attract the good people. So what advice can you share with the audience, Angela, how you attract good people to work with you, and what type of or how you deal with that?
Yeah.
For me, it was really difficult.
Yeah. So, and that's a learning curve I definitely went through. But one of the key things that I did learn from my coaches were, what are your key values? So if my values are loyalty, excellence, and results, any job posting or job interview that I did, I used those key words. And I said, if you are a loyal candidate that is willing to work for complete excellence and then definitely show results, I repeated those words to the people that I was interviewing. And then I wanted to ask them, show me a place, I would give them an interview question. Give me an example of when you were loyal to somebody in your job. And I wanted to hear what they thought loyalty meant to them. And then I would say, yeah, what does excellence mean to you? And tell me a time when you were excellent. So then I found a lot about the person when I was interviewing, and you'd be surprised what they open up and share. So it made more of a conversation with them, and they got to, you can hear more when they're talking. A lot of interviewers end up doing all the talking and not listening to who you're hiring. And then also making sure that I said to them, you're going to be a 3-month probationary, because sometimes you can hire someone and you have to make sure that they do what they say, and that you have to be true to that, because it's more costly to keep the wrong person than to let them go.
Oh, yes.
So you can be in big trouble if you have the wrong people there. And then it takes the energy from you, or it's distraction, or you've hired the wrong people and you're doing their job or they're not doing their job. And then it's not a true flow. So it is a learning curve that you do find, but some great advice I had was just really finding out what your key values of your company are, and then make sure those people align with those type of values.
This is what was one of my biggest issues, because I was so busy trying to do everything by myself that I was hiding fast, right? And oh god, it went it went badly. Yeah, so I'm trying to I don't have time, so I need to hire someone really fast to help me out. And the faster than I had the person, the worse the result that happened. So yeah, I learned that the hiring process is a process that it takes time. You had exactly like you said, and this is a great idea, amazing idea to put the values of the company in the job description, regardless the roles. So like that,
Mm-hmm.
you can attract the people to your organization that actually align with the values that the
Yeah.
organization have. So even from the interviews, you're ready, either you take the candidate or not. At least you're trying a group of people that start to align with the
Yeah.
values. This is a
Yeah.
very good tip. Yeah.
Yeah, and I did one other thing I did, which because I study Feng Shui as well and working with Marie Diamond as well, I learned this very on, is I made a vision board. And on my vision board, I actually did it with my best directions. And I put, teamwork, people that were good employees, and I put pictures of people working in a team, and I put them in my good directions on my dream board and my vision board. And like if I needed a carpenter or somebody, I put pictures of carpenters on there. And I even, like, as you know, I'm on TV quite a bit for the job I have. And I even put on there, I wanted to have a certain TV channel and be featured on different TV networks. And sure enough, it happened. So it's about naming what you want. And that's a big thing, is like putting that out there. You say your values, you put out your goals, and you put out that. And I used my vision board to do that. And it just really helped, because energetically, like we said, it attracted people to me that were aligned with me. And before you know it, like I had more opportunities on TV, and it worked out really well. So definitely keeping yourself aligned with where you're going aligns you with the people you will attract.
Yeah, and this is the part that we want to expand a little bit more, right?
Mm-hmm.
In a way, how you take, let's say, from the early steps of stressful business, or a little bit of a stress because you're learning different skills, and then you don't know everything about the business, right? And then how you change and how you made that transformation from a little bit of I need to do everything, and this the beginnings, right? To actually have this beautiful business that you have today, which is something that is peaceful, that actually you attracted what you really wanted from
Yeah.
your business in terms of TV, in terms of opportunity. So how you attracted? What happened? What work did you did with your team, with your people, with your clients? What relationship do you have with your clients and with your team that allow
Mm-hmm.
you to attract these opportunities to you, like from the TV, for example, and some successful clients that you have that I'm aware of also.
Yeah. So I think the part about the employees is, when you have employees, is really be open communication with them and find out their skills, because sometimes you can hire people and they do align with you energetically, but maybe their skill set, in my business, like if somebody's really good at talking to customers, I put them in the right position. If they're somebody that's really good on the computer and doesn't like to talk to people, I don't want them in my retail sales, because they're not going to be that right connection. So what I do is I'll have a group meeting with our employees, and we write down what is their favorite thing to do. Talking to people, sitting at their desk, being creative. What is one of their goals? And you find out what works for each employee, because if you put your staff and your employees in the right category, let's say in their positions, they're going to perform better. And then when they're dealing with people and your clients, they're in the right position. So if somebody's really good on the phone and can take those like customer service calls, or like make a sales call, because obviously I'm not there answering the phone, they'll answer the phone. Yeah, would you like an appointment? And then how do they talk to the client? If you put somebody that hates talking on the phone as the person that's going to answer those phone calls for you, your client's going to feel that on the other end, and then they're not going to feel that great energy from your company because it's not portraying properly over the phone. So it's very key to take people's skill set and put them in the right area, and they have to also believe in themselves when they are in that position. And that's why putting them in that key role is important. And then, obviously when I go out to the clients, I always make sure that we do make that connection, and you build rapport with people. So you build rapport with your client, and you find out what they're about. It's not about the sale. It's about, how do I help you? What are you trying to achieve? And that's what I find is really important, building those relationships with clients in sales.
I think that I don't think that not many people are are aware, but by changing the interior designing of your house can change the whole world for you in terms of attracting money, in terms of clarity, what you want to do, in terms of you see, we have. I lived before in a house with Lily, right? And somehow, in that house, yeah, we have more arguments that in this one that we are right now that we don't have any. So how you explain that? How you
Well, yeah,
how you
that's so
explain
true.
that
Like,
you change the place that you live in, and you use all these techniques that you use of Feng Shui and so on, and
yeah.
now everything is at peace, everything is easy, everything comes to you. And what is the biggest challenge, Angela, that you have to educate the client? Like, for example, I know because I've been in property, we did it for so many years. We know that you can sell your property way faster and for more money with the right interior done. We also know that you can actually increase your cash flow of the property if you are able to do the right layout inside the property. And one property that this is something that we did ourselves in our own house. One property that the initial layout is just gonna give us to pay the mortgage, and today this property give us £2,000 a month extra after the mortgage, and all what we did is just to change the layout and the interior inside our own house, right? So do you think that the audience out there are conscious of the huge benefit that brings to them bringing a specialist, an expert like you, to the property to achieve different goals? Like you said, could be generate an extra cash flow, could be have more space. A lot of people work from home, and sometimes they're not aware that even myself, I was working in the other house in front of a wall. And yes, when we married Diamond, and when she saw when my was working, it's like, oh my God, Harry, So when you don't know, you don't know, right? And then you feel it that you're working and you're stuck, and things doesn't move forward, and you don't even know what happened, right? And
it's so true, Harry. Having that layout, like, I know, and it's funny because in my world, when I go into somebody's home, and Marie's the same, you just go, oh, this is going on and this is going on, because we can see it so clearly. Like, you're sitting with your desk at the wall. Are you hitting a wall in your career? Or, do you feel like people are stabbing you in the back because people are walking behind you? And even in their home, like, I do seminars with people all the time and say, like, what is the layout of your home? Do you have one area, say they call it the junk room, where everybody doesn't want time to sort something. They shove everything in one room and go, we'll get to it later. We'll get to it later. But really, that's your life. What are you pushing away, and what are you shoving in a closet and not dealing with? So it's looking at those spaces in your home to say, okay, then let's clear that out. And the minute that's cleared out and organized and potentially made a better use of space, the money flows. It comes quicker. And I know even at, like, for my office, sometimes we'll have like stuck, some months are a little harder than others. What I do is I'll change the furniture around. It's like changing the chi of the room. Like, we always change 20 things. So we'll say, okay, we're moving desks around. We'll move the furniture around, and we spritz it and clean it, and we do some sage, and it just changes that stuck energy so that we feel like, okay, just some things need to change sometimes, and it's an energy that you feel. And when we go into homes, a lot of times I'll say that to clients, okay, we need to change some things up. And right away, it changes their feelings about themselves, their energy, their relationships are better. So it is very important to understand the flow and energy of a home. And when we're doing design, we always think of that. Some people are like, well, that's hokey pokey, but really there is science behind it, and we have so much proof of it actually, the results of what our clients have. They're just so grateful. I remember even telling one of my clients, he had his desk and we were doing a call, and he had a problem with his girlfriend. He had a problem with not getting clients. And I said, okay, listen, where's your computer on your desk? His computer was in his family area, and his girlfriend was in the work area, the picture on the desk. So I said, okay, let's figure out your best directions. Let's get your computer in the right area for phone calls and for clients coming in. Put your girlfriend in your good area. And I got off that phone call. He texted me like not even 5 minutes. He says, Ange, you're not going to believe this. I just got an oil deal for $200,000. Wow. As soon as and he was like, he just was like, I can't believe this. It's crazy. I said, it's amazing. It's just lining your energies up and, cleaning some things up in your life and your house. Like, it's like same with people with their cars. They drive around with a very messy car. What does that say about you? So it's all about keeping things in order and organized, and it helps your life flow better. And I think that relates to running a business. If you're not in order, then it's, what are your staff saying about you? What are your clients thinking? So it's definitely important to get all that aligned.
And also, I think it's also important to educate the clients, right? Because how you deal, for example, Angela, with resistance when you know that these things that they want here in our house, since we start to work with Marie Diamond and everything, our house has changed completely. Nothing else where you supposed to be before, yeah? For me, I'm more flexible, but we are really there that, oh my God, I don't want this, move this, here looks better, and you have to actually let all that go, right?
Mm-hmm.
And listen the experts, listen the people that actually have experience, and I'm helping you to do that for your own good,
Mm-hmm.
right? So,
Yep.
what are how you deal with resistance, or how you deal with difficult clients? Or the other question is, you don't have difficult clients because you only attract the clients that want to work with you.
Yeah, well, wouldn't that be nice? That would be a perfect world if that was the way it is. But you definitely attract more people that are, like your style, and
Align,
they have
yeah.
confidence and they align with you. So I always refer to them like, okay, it is a bit of a trust, but, you did hire me because you think I'm doing this really well. And this is I'm going to give you the expert advice. I'm definitely going to explain it to them and give them the pros and cons. And then I'm going to, a lot of times people will say, well, I've got this furniture from my Aunt Betty gave it to me and it was in the family for this long. I hate it, but I still have it. And I'll say, oh, you hate it? And then they start to open up. They go, yeah, well, I don't know what else to do with it. So if it's one key piece like that, that's one of the things they have a hard time letting go. So we say, okay, well, what are you attached to about it? So then you break it down for them. So it's a little bit of psychology behind on what's attached to the furniture. What are they really attached to in life to hang on to that? Mm-hmm. So we say, well, why did your Aunt Betty give it to you? Well, your Aunt Betty didn't like it either, but you just got stuck with it because you didn't have the boundary to say, okay, well, thank you. But how about we offer it to somebody else in the family? You could sell it. You could take a picture of it and keep a picture of it if you wanted to have some memory of it. So it releases, because a lot of times people carry things that they don't like because it's been in the family. And, so that's one scenario. Or sometimes I'll design things for people and I make all the suggestions, but then they'll be like, well, I don't know if I want that piece, or I'm not sure if we want that. So then you go through the exercise of, okay, well, I'll show you 10 other pieces, let them see what that is. And then 99% of the time they go with the original piece that we want because they understand and they start to trust you that it will come together. But some people get very stuck in their head and can't see, they only know what they know. And then you have to remind them, well, you did hire, we're an expert in our field and this is what we know, it will work. So this is the best suggestion. And then ultimately it's their decision, but you want to guide them there and kind of hold their hand to get there and then let them make the decision. Because some people, it's very important that they have that final say. So it's learning how to deal with people and letting them have a voice and hearing what's behind the story. So
and coaching them. Yeah, I think that in my own experience, explanation was really, really helpful. Yeah, I remember vividly the first time when Mary Diamond came to our house that I have my desk very close to the door, and Mary was telling me, Harry, you have to put the desk far because in this position is like you're the secretary. You don't want to be the secretary of your own company. You have to be your own director of your own company. So
right.
You have to put that desk. And then I didn't want to do it, but after the explanation, right? After this explanation that was so solid, I actually did it straight away, and it have a huge result. I have been changing position since then, right? And I think that, I think that the people like me don't know or didn't know. That's why we put things how we believe that should be in our house. But when an expert come and give you the right explanation, I think that for me, surrender has been amazing in terms of how we operate our business. And I think that and the positive impact that the space have, and I think that now a lot of people working from home that they spend more time at home than they usually spend, right? It has to be a place with good energy, with good vibe, with good. Look, for example, sage. You mentioned sage. I do find the smell really nice, really relaxing. It's a smell that is relaxing, and if you are at home and cooking and working at the same time, and you have a little bit of a smell, nice orientation that you feel that the energy flow in the house, that can increase dramatically your productivity, and that productivity can help you to keep your job, can help you to buy another house, to invest, and to stay more confident. So what is the best way that you can communicate to your clients? I know that one is the TV show that you appear, but what is the best way that you can communicate to your clients the huge benefits to actually even change the decoration, like you said, move things around or change the decoration at least once a year? What new experience or new opportunity can open for the people out there? For me, I particularly noticed that every time that we fly, every time that we go to speak, could be Dubai, could be Mexico, could be Peru, every time that we leave and we actually change the environment and we land in a different hotel or whatever, we are very creative.
Yes.
We are very creative. We could be anywhere, right? In Mexico, in anywhere. But we just change our environment. We arrive to a new hotel. We spend 3 weeks there in the pool. We are staying in a different place. And all of a sudden, we write books and so on as part of our business. And we are more creative in that environment than in the common environment that we stay all the time, right? And all the ideas that we are stuck in our own house, then we change, we go somewhere else, and look, let's do it like that, right? Yeah. And what if people can create that experience in their own houses, in their own property, without don't even need to travel? What do you think that would be the biggest benefit for them?
Well, we do. Obviously, on the TV shows, you see a lot. Like, people learn quite a bit from TV, and they'll go, "Oh, I saw this episode. Do you think we could do that?" And one of the things is, like, we have websites called House and obviously Pinterest, and people can research those online platforms to see where they get the ideas. And I find that's very easy for us to communicate with clients because a picture, it says 1,000 words, right? We can say, oh, when you say modern, do you like modern like this, or do you like modern contemporary? And once you show a picture, people can see. So having a look, and I say when I go to a client's house, I'll say, pull all the pictures that you like, because a lot of times people will like one of the wall features, maybe a cabinetry of something else and a light fixture of something else. And I start to pool all the things that they like, and then I put it together and I get to see, okay, you're more like this style. This is what you're achieving. And the husband, though, might like something else. So then you have to often go, okay, how do we make husband happy, wife happy, or partners? How do we make the partners happy? Because everybody might like something different. But you want it to match also the home, is it a home in Greece? Is that going to match urban farmhouse? No, you want to guide people to what the style is. And you're right, Harry, like traveling is very good for people to open up, because you go through you live life unconsciously sometimes and just go through the patterns and only see what you see. So when you stay in hotels or you go to somebody else's house, it's great for you to go, oh, wow, I never thought of that before. And people start thinking differently, because it opens up your neurons in your mind and you're seeing new, then it makes you think, hey, I could do that. And that's why people become creative, is because they get more ideas. Like even when I travel, I love to check out, how did they do the bathroom? How did they do this? How did they do that? Because then it also makes me more creative too, because different people try different applications of tile or wallpaper or lighting. And then it's a good way to be more creative and see what the world has to offer.
Mm. And also the one thing is the space, right? And the other thing is how you make the most out of the space, right?
Yes.
Especially here in London, where the property is really expensive and they're not as big as over there, right? We live in very little spaces compared with so how these small spaces you can make the most out of it is really really important, and actually it has a strong financial benefit attached to it, because can even increase the cash flow, can even increase the productivity that the people working from home. So then the question that we need to find out is how long it takes, right, to the whole process, since I'm not feeling well. I'm feeling that I'm working from my home and I'm stuck and things are not flowing and I have problem in my work because of that, and I'm stuck, I'm not creating, I'm working from home every day. And so to be from that position, right, to have a consultation with you to rearrange the decoration and the Feng Shui at the energy of the house, and actually create this big shift so the person start to be in flow again. How long is this process and how it works?
Well, yeah. So a lot of times, because of luckily we do things by Zoom now, we can have these conversations, as soon as somebody's available. Hey, I have an opening. Can we get on a call? And I usually judge the consultation. Like some people are very urgent. And if it's definitely, say somebody's having a huge problem and we go, wait, we need to fix this. I'm out there ready to help them. So we make that arrangement where we'll go, okay, let's do a Zoom call. Let's figure out what's going on. And then obviously figuring out their birth date, what's their best direction, who else is living in the home, what are the things going on. And it's a quick analyzation of what it is. And then it's like, okay, let's get a game plan going. If we can do a floor plan, if we can give them a different layout, that can almost be done instantaneously. Once we have all the measurements and the layout, we can get on it right away. And some of that can just be done by visual. We can say, hey, right away, hey, move that cactus that's behind you, or move this that's there, or, we got to get your desk moved. So some of that can be done right away. And sometimes there's a little bit more that needs to be done, but at least it can give you immediate results by changing things, that and effort that the client puts in. Like, okay, they've got to make the effort to do those changes, or at least hire somebody to help them make the physical changes that they need to do. So it's just as much as, I think when somebody's in a desperate situation and they need help, they're going to do it, because definitely it's going to change things quite quickly for them.
Yeah. And then the one more thing, how do you find it difficult to work with celebrities, or is same like with the normal clients? They have special needs, or how can you, because I'm aware that you have also this part of the market. So how you deal with celebrities?
Well, 100% confidential. They have to trust you, and that is the number one. Whether they're celebrities or multimillionaires, you're in their personal space, and they have to know that you've got them, you're confidential. You're not posting pictures. Like, I don't post any of those pictures of people, because that's their private space. If it's something that we're doing a promo and they want us to do that, absolutely, and we have their permission. But I wouldn't, they have to know that, and that's one thing that is very important, is the trust factor, because you are going into that personal space, and also their schedule is very busy, so you have to be very accommodating. So you jump, like, it's, hey, Elton John's calling. Okay, what are we doing for Elton John? So what are we doing for, a big celebrity? We get a lot of rock stars too, and you have to say, okay, let's get in quickly. Sometimes you deal with them right away. Sometimes you deal with the manager. Sometimes we're dealing with the property maintenance people. So it depends who you're dealing with. But I always like to speak to the client so that you can hear it firsthand, what's required. And then you will probably work with people on their team to pull it off, and their management teams and whatnot. But the key is definitely be be respectful. And, it's funny, as much as you'd want to have the selfie with them and your autographs, I always tell my staff, no pictures, no autographs. You have to be confident in yourself that, hey, you worked with them. You don't need to be diving into their personal space to do that. So that's one thing I find is very key if you're going to work with very high profile people.
Yeah, we also notice the same thing. Like, when you actually work with these high profile people, actually the less that you say is the better. Yeah. Because I think you're 100% right. They are that at the end of the day, that's the space, right? Their own private space. And for them, the privacy and the confidentiality is key. And I think that if they find a person like you, right, with this level of professionalism, right, they actually can refer you more people. That's why you have more rock stars and this and that, because of the level of professionalism, right? I have a friend, for example, that sell tea to royal families, right? And a lot of royal families, he sells the tea, and he doesn't even put this in his website. Yeah. And I'm just telling him, like, why you don't put this in your website? You're crazy. And he's telling me, no, Harry, it doesn't work like that. Yeah. It doesn't work like that. This is something that is private. It's a private relationship. And yes, I sold a lot to a lot of royal family, special type of tea, premium tea, and so on. But this is something that just if something is something really, really tiny, and this is how this market works, which is the opposite, that people might think that that actually the people working with the celebrities and things like that, maybe is only finding very little information, right? Yeah. And this is how that market works, and this is how people can be successful like you in this market. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's 100% right. And I treat all clients that way too. Even though there are, great people I work with, everybody to me, I treat them like a celebrity in their own way, because whether it's a small home or a castle, their home is their castle. And that's
their own
what's
space,
so
exactly.
important. And then somebody said that, I'm so glad, I only had this one little room, but you took the time and you made it just a special. And that's one key thing that you can, you have to treat everybody, the same.
So it's like that, yeah. So I don't need to call you, Angela, this is my friend, treat him well. No, I don't need to make that call. Whoever lands there is going to be treated well anyway, yeah?
Yeah, exactly.
So the other thing, Angela, just to start to conclude, is that for me, people think that it's easy, but I was also involved heavily in property early in my career, talking about 10, 15 years ago. And people don't understand, or I didn't understand on deeply in the product that I was selling until I realized that I was selling one of the most difficult products, which was a space to live, right? It's no Coca-Cola, it's no a soft drink, it's no a retail product, it's a space to live. And it generated a lot of, I remember it needed a lot of expertise, a skill set, and really, really experienced people to actually achieve those sales consistency, because it's, in my opinion, is one of the most difficult products to sell in the world, is the space to live, or the space where people are going to be living, because they are if you sell a soft drink to them, they can drink it, they like it or not, and that's the end of it.
Yeah.
But the space is something that they stay there a long time, and if they take a wrong decision, it's going to have a large negative impact and so on. So how you continue learning, how you continue researching, how you continue to be on top of this industry, that in my opinion is one of the most challenging, because like I said, it's extremely complex to keep happy so many clients in a so extremely complex product, if it makes sense.
Yeah. Have to continue learning. Like every day I'm taking courses, I'm learning, I'm researching, like I'm in, and I surround myself with the right type of people. So if I want to be growing, I don't want to be the smartest person in the room. I want to learn from people that are much smarter than me, and so that I can grow to the next level. And that's what's really important, is that if you are in the coaching group or you're joining some mastermind groups, that's where you're going to learn, so that you can step up to the next level, and you will get creative ideas and you'll learn solutions. And then also, like, learn your field and keep learning, like, how is it growing? How can I branch out in different avenues? And researching different products. And then that being an expert that's part of it, is you're continually learning, right? So, it's not like, oh, hey, we made it and you can just carry on. It's like, nope, you like every day, like I said, like I'll be doing a seminar after this, and I'll be joining a mastermind group so that I can learn from them. And it's just, oftentimes we know it, but you need to be reminded, and you keep going into those avenues of like, okay, what did I learn before? Oh, right. Yeah, I have to, keep that up to keep on top of my game. And a lot of people, like you touched on it a little bit, like people think, oh, you make it look so easy. But it's because we carry that professionalism about ourselves. And we do want people to think it's easy. And we might be inside terrified or like struggling, but you're like, nope, you have to, in business, you have to have that face and that front that people are always watching you, especially the more high profile you get and the more you're on TV and the more you're out there, people are watching you all the time, and you have to stay composed. There's a lot of times that you might want to react, but you have to, so you have to manage those emotions. You have to manage, you can't retaliate in certain ways because it could hurt you if it comes back. So it's very important to learn how to manage your emotions, your expectations of people, and what you want to achieve. So I would say definitely surround yourself with, really high-end people that you want to become, And, whatever that is, always try to learn from people that have done it. There's people in my career that have done it way better than me, and I'm following them and I'm learning from them. And then also I like to give back and help people that also are learning. So I do courses to help people so that they can learn from me, because I think that's very important, and it keeps you humble, because a lot of times some people can just get there and then it's, they forget where they came from. So I think it's very important that we do that and we give back as well.
Exactly. And then let's touch that point, which is about being a conscious entrepreneur. I think I'm 100% agree with you, right? An entrepreneur always has to be learning, always has to be receiving coaching and mentoring. I think that our life as an entrepreneur is not easy. I don't think that entrepreneurship is for everybody. I have a lot of friends. I have a lot of friends that they look at me and they say, "No way! I go to my work. I work 8 to 5. I make that money, and that's it. After 5 o'clock, I don't need to think about anything." Where entrepreneurs, we are like 24/7. Is the opposite. Very difficult to switch off about what we're doing, and we go through a different process, and that's why it's our duty and our role to work on ourselves, right? Exactly what you were sharing with us, to how to do these mastermind, these coaching sessions, where we are working on ourselves and we are continuously improving ourselves. Saying that, the part of have a conscious business, and saying exactly like you can offer some mentoring or some coaching to people in your industry so they can learn, or you can, for example, do some work with the community or with the charity close to where you base, or maybe some donations for things that you don't use, that have a positive impact in the community, right? Can also be, like you said, a way of give back to the community, give back to the society, and keep the business not only in this mind of profit, but have a business that is sustainable, that is conscious, that we live in a world, in a planet that we all have to look after. And also, if we are so lucky like you that have a very successful business, doing contracts all over the world, and working with celebrities and so on, a way to give back, a way to empower the communities. So, any small example, Angela, how your business is operating in a conscious way to have, like we call it, this 360 approach that we try to achieve in all companies, that that actually we generate and empower global conscious entrepreneurs.
Yeah, absolutely. So definitely, having workshops, like I'll just have people at my shop where I'm taking in people that are just learning what they want to do. And, so I teach what my knowledge is, giving it back. And I take co-op students as well. And they work with me, and having the co-op student, we kind of get them into the feel of what it is to work in that environment. Is the career they want to do, so that it helps them as well. So every year we take 2 or 3 co-op students, and then we get them interested, and we even take them on some of the big, when we do the Princess Margaret projects that we work on, we take them with us so they get to see a full finished project. And then for them, they're just like, wow, it just, blows their mind. Like, wow, I'm doing this. But it helps them understand this is what we do and this is what we give back when we're working with, as we know, we're always working on something whether it's community related or a big project. And we do volunteer at different places. What we do is we help these people that doing decorating, say it's a big event. So we volunteer and we'll do the work. So then that way, it's like that's part of our community give back, and then it becomes, they're very thankful that we do that, and we're on different committees that help out as well. And we'll have a big yard sale, and anything that we make from the yard sale of leftover product, we'll use that as a donation to Habitat, and that's a company that builds houses for people.
Oh,
so,
wow!
Mm-hmm.
Really? Wow!
Yeah. So there's all little ways, whether you're doing it just in your local community, or you're helping out students, or you're helping out people that are just interested. I think definitely, once you put that out there that you are interested in that and volunteer, then people start to reach out to you more. And, we try to do as much as we can.
And it's the energy. I think that the employees and everybody at work, right, when they see companies that they are performing in that way, right? We know for a fact, because we did a study with the company that doing social responsibility, that people prefer to work in places that they are socially responsible and conscious, entrepreneurs are leading the business. They prefer even to make less money and stay in those businesses than actually to make more money in other businesses that are just profit driven, and I'm not looking after the environment, and I'm not contributing to the community, to the society. It's just profit. And I think that the millennials and the workforce that is generated now in this planet, right? It demands, the consumer demands different things, right? The behavior.
And it feels good.
Yeah,
it feels good when you help people.
Exactly.
I just know something like that, it's just like, it's more rewarding sometimes. So you're right, Harry. It's just, it feels good. It's a good energy, and it's always the way what you put out comes back.
And also when you give away, I always say, when you help someone, you receive 10 times more.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe not from that directly, you don't know, but you created this energy, this space, and it will come to you 10 times more, right?
Yeah.
And I think that if all the entrepreneurs, we start to work together in this mindset, in this philosophy, we can create a huge impact. I think that's why we're part of this book, Global Conscious Entrepreneur, to raise awareness about conscious entrepreneurship around the world. This book that I'm very proud to be on, because I really believe that we need more entrepreneurs like us, right?
Yes.
I think that if we have in the world more entrepreneurs like us, we won't have so many problems that we have today. in the society in general. So one last question is the following. For everybody that is listening, Angela, if they feel that they are at home, that they are stuck, that when they go inside the house every day, as soon as they open the door, that used to happen to me, by the way, in the previous house, that, oh my God, as soon as I open the door, I go in bad mood. Don't ask me why, right? And so if the people are feeling that, as soon as they open the door of the house, they go in bad mood, that when they sit on the desk at work from home, they don't even want to go inside the room because, oh my God, I have to work, and they have that feeling, and the people feeling stuck, and somehow they're in bad mood all the time, right? And the people are in this situation. What is the best way that they can contact you to ask for help, to know more about how they can change the situation, and how specifically they can contact you?
Okay. Well, you can reach me at info@lakeshorehd.ca, and that will get right to my email. And definitely they can reach out through, if I think we might be listed in the Global Conscious Entrepreneur book. My contact info is in there as well. But definitely info@lakeshorehd.ca. And one of the first things I'd say to somebody if they're stuck like that is, one, before you even enter the house, and it's like almost having this imaginary tree outside, and you take anything that's bothering you and you hang it on the tree, so that when you walk into the door, you've left all the problems outside. so that you can walk in and then deal with a fresh, clean slate. Because a lot of times people just carry all that baggage from outside in, and sometimes you just have to hang it on the outside. So that's just a little mental tip. And the other one is definitely get your head up. A lot of people get stuck in the problem and their head is down. So keeping their head up and getting their eyes up just gets them out of the problem. And then there's a lot of other solutions that we can go through, but those would be my first 2 tips, just to help people if they're stuck immediately. And definitely reach out. Happy to help people. We can do Zoom calls, phone calls, visits as well. So I really appreciate you having me, Harry.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And for you that you're listening, our podcast, remember we have today the successful interior design, Angela Jones, and she would be able to help you if you feel that you're not feeling good at home. And we believe 100% that the way that the interior of that house is done play a major impact on that. So thank you so much, Angela. We will put also your contact details in the video for the podcast. And thank you so much, and see you guys next time. Bye-bye.
Okay. Thanks, Harry. Great success. Thank you.
Bye.
Follow us for more interviews with world's most influential, audacious entrepreneurs that overcame challenges and adversity, providing you with the blueprint of how they sold their first million so you can grow your business exponentially.